The number one challenge in organizations today, according to senior leaders, is not enough ready now leaders. What do we mean by not ready now? Let me share a few reasons and see if you agree with me. Number one, there is a huge generational shift happening. The baby boomers are leaving the labor market and the millennials and Gen Z are entering the workforce. The reality is that we are in the midst of a demographic shift amongst leaders in most organizations today. The second one is the speed of change. So even if we do have leaders out there now, what they did or what was required yesterday is not often relevant for today or tomorrow, which means that we are required to lead differently. On top of it all, many organizations have underinvested in leadership development. A recent article in Harvard Business Review reported that on average, people take on their first leadership role at, well, have a guess. What age do you think most get their first managerial role? You might have guessed it, the age is 30. However, when do you think they, according to this study, get their first formal management training? It's at age 42. That's a 12-year gap. Imagine, what other profession would we do that to? Like, why don't you try it for 12 years and then if you still like it or you're still here or not doing too much damage, we'll give you some training. My name is Victoria Roos-Olsen. I'm a senior leadership consultant with FranklinCovey and co-author of our Wall Street Journal best-selling book, Everyone Deserves a Great Manager, which is based on our leadership program, The 6 Critical Practices. We want your leaders to be ready now, to be able to go out and make a difference for your organization and for your team members. That is the reason we designed our program, The 6 Critical Practices for Leading a Team. At FranklinCovey, we believe that great leaders are different in 4 ways. The results they create, which derives from the actions they take. Now, the actions are shaped by their mindsets and ultimately by who we are. In the 6 Critical Practices, we focus on the actions and mindsets. Let me take you on a quick journey through the 6 critical practices with a few small nuggets from each of them to give you a better picture of what the program contains and what it can do for you and your organization. The mindset shift when we step into a role where leading others is critical. Think back to when you got promoted into your first role in leadership. My bet is that you got that promotion because you were really good at the job you did previously as an individual contributor. Now, once you get into the leadership role, it's not about your results any longer. It's about the results of your team. As an individual contributor, 80% of your success depends on your technical skills. Excellent in sales, excellent doctor, excellent at the front desk, excellent out on the manufacturing floor. Now, once you get into that leadership, your success is based on your people skills. Each critical practice starts out with a mindset shift. For example, consider practice 2 and your one-on-one meetings. If they go something like this: hey, tell me about last week. Everything going okay? And what do you have going on for the upcoming week? Is there anything I can help you with? No? Well, okay, we'll see each other in that department meeting this afternoon anyway. You're really just performing a status check. And trust me, I've had several one-on-ones just like that. For me, really, the leader, to know what's going on. But what if we approached it with another mindset? Your one-on-ones being the opportunity this week, amongst the business and everything going on, to raise your team members' engagement. How would you approach your one-on-one meetings differently? How would you prepare? How would you show up? We work on the skill set needed to transform your one-on-ones, but we also give you simple tools that you can continue to use when preparing for future meetings, such as the one-on-one planner. A classic leadership trap is to feel that we as the leaders need to have all the answers. But that ultimately risks killing creativity and engagement on your team. Leaders need to be able to share the why behind the what. It is, however, counterproductive to always spoon-feed the how. When I ask leaders, why should we delegate? I often get the response, because I can't do it all on my own, which indeed is very true. But delegation is often, if done well, one of your best tactics to grow the competencies on your team. In the third critical practice, we expand those skills. We get the tools we need to go back to our team that same very day to make a difference. In the fourth practice, we dive into feedback. We help leaders with the techniques required to develop their team, but we also discuss the importance of creating a culture of feedback. Now, if you want to create a culture where giving and receiving feedback is the norm for everyone, including the leader, where people feel safe to take risks and try new alternatives that will lead to better outcomes, it will have to start with you, the leader. And guess what? The more senior you become, the more difficult it will be to get honest feedback. You have to create a safe environment and perhaps also be a bit creative. Here's something I tried in the past. After my team went through a turbulent time, I decided to do a workshop I normally do with clients to open up the room for feedback. I split my team into smaller groups and I asked each group to draw a picture of how they saw our team at the moment, illustrating our communication, execution, team spirit, goal achievement, my leadership, and more. This activity puts people at ease. Rather than formally sitting around discussing difficult topics, you can be creative. My team loved it and got right to work. To my horror, one team came back with a picture of us all on a frantic high-speed flight, with me as the captain wearing a turquoise scarf that apparently I wore way too often to work, and the team members performing crazy duties in a chaotic environment. That picture will forever be instilled in my memory. So, while I didn't feel great about this picture, I was proud of my team for being so candid. Now that our issues were out in the open, we could tackle them. And they checked my reactions while sharing the picture. But once they realized I wanted their feedback, the culture of feedback really got started. And by the way, it also became a lot easier for me to give them feedback. The next practice is highly relevant. Today's rate of change is unprecedented. We can't avoid it, we can't protect our teams from it, or pretend it isn't happening. Yet 75% of change initiatives fail. Why? Well, on top of the reasons for why change fails is unskilled leaders. In the fifth critical practice, we use our change model as a supporting tool. Our model is not about how to project manage, but rather how to lead through the emotional roller coaster of change to arrive at a better performance. Have a look at this short clip from our workshop.
Whether you like it or not, change is always happening. So what if you could improve your success rate at leading your team through change? While every change is unique, all change follows a predictable pattern. The pattern is illustrated in the change model. It's a valuable tool to help you lead your team through change and arrive at better performance. Here's how the model works. The vertical line on the left represents results. These might be financial results, manufacturing output, customer satisfaction, or any other metric. The horizontal line represents time and is divided into 4 zones. The first zone, the zone of status quo, is when you and your team experience the steady state of business as usual. In this zone, you and your team members probably feel comfortable and in control, but the status quo is temporary. Change is happening all the time. Some changes are determined by you, some are determined for you by others, and some are just unexpected. Choosing to remain in this zone is not an option. If you want to help your team deal with change effectively, help them see that the zone of status quo is temporary. As soon as you sense a change, you enter the zone of disruption and results become unstable. All changes, no matter what the source, rewrite the rules of the game. Things you were familiar with might disappear, and what worked in the past may not work for you now. The zone of disruption feels uncomfortable at best and miserable at worst. Some people never make it out of the zone of disruption. If you get stuck in this zone, you end up redefining normal as a lower level of results. There are two things that can help you and your team get through the zone of disruption. First, understand what's changing and why. Second, decide to act. This is the point of decision. As a leader, you need to get through the zone of disruption yourself and pave the way for others to get through it too. Once across the point of decision, you enter the zone of adoption. This is when you start to adapt to what's changing. In the model, the upward curve looks nice and smooth, but in reality, it might look more like this. Progressing through the zone of adoption can be messy. You and your team may feel lost, experience setbacks, and even question why you're changing things. This is the zone where changes can fail because people can't make it out of the dip. To get through the zone of adoption, keep your team focused on the expected benefits from the change. Learn from setbacks and stay committed. The fourth zone is the zone of better performance. Here, you begin getting results that are significantly higher than before the change. Your team's efforts and struggles pay off. You feel energized and have a sense of achievement. The new results begin multiplying. Team members are enthusiastic, and success breeds more success. You've led your team through change and arrived at better performance. The cycle starts again, and it's time to look for other opportunities to change and improve. The change model helps leaders not to fear change, but to embrace it. Use it to diagnose what zone you and your team are in, and then manage the journey so you arrive successfully at better performance.
It is predicted that within the next 15 years, 40% of current jobs as we know them today will be replaced or completely transformed by AI, artificial intelligence, which means organizations are going to need more and more of our creativity and innovation. It's more critical than ever to stay relevant and ahead of the game. And to do that, you don't only need a pair of hands from your team members, but focused and active brains. Great leaders not only learn how to manage their time and energy, but also to help those on their team to do just that. This will be one of the most important leadership competencies of the future. That was a quick overview of each of the practices. In the work session, we go deeper with activities and reinforcement tools that impact behavior change in individuals, teams, and organizations. Every organization is different. And that is why the 6 critical practices can be delivered in the tailor-made way that works best for you and your organization. It can be a one-day in-person work session, or it can be a live online 6-month program and everything in between. If you would like to learn more on how to implement this into your organization, click on the link on the screen and a representative will be in touch with you. Thank you so much for joining us today.